Hello, and welcome to Shelley Has Opinions, the hit podcast where the Chatfield girls try and guess their shy sister Shelley's opinions on a variety of topics. My name is Holly Chatfield Flanagan, and with me is
Shelley Chatfield Allison.
And we also have
Julie Chatfield Miller.
And finally, our sister expert for today is
Kellie Chatfield Wickham.
Guys, it is time to celebrate, and no, not because of Thanksgiving. It's because Shelley did it.
Yay!
What'd she do?
You did it!
Either way, yay!
Shelley, do you want to tell the Shelley Gang what you did?
I had a whirlwind experience with getting a job this week.
Yay!
Shelley, will you tell the Shelley Gang your job, I was going to say roller coaster, but it hasn't really been much of a roller coaster.
But it was very fast like a roller coaster. So I turned in an application last Wednesday. I got called on Friday by the boss to come in. And so Monday I went in for an interview. Wednesday I went in for the second part of the interview, which was a working interview. So I was like just working and trying it out. And then he hired me at the end of that. And then I worked Friday and Saturday. So this week I went from not even having an interview to being employed.
Yay! A couple days of work under your belt too.
Yeah. So I work now at a bakery that's down the street from my house, and it's pretty fun. I work mostly in the front, so I do the register. I help customers. I get people yummy, delicious treats and also loaves of bread. But then I do like 8 bazillion other things too. My first shift, I worked 6.5 hours, and I worked 6.5 hours.
Oh gosh.
I did not stop. I was going. Yesterday was not quite as bad. There was a fewer customers, but man, oh man, there's a lot to do in a bakery, it turns out.
Now, Shelley, my 8-year-old son has a big question for you.
Uh-huh.
When are you going to start baking the bread?
My boss said maybe eventually. For right now, I'm learning like one shift. I'm learning the opening shift. But my boss said after Christmas, he wants to teach me the sandwich making one, and then he wants to teach me the bread slicing one. I already have sliced some bread, so I haven't baked it yet, but I've sliced it up in our cool machine and bagged it.
Ooh.
And did you guys know there's a twisty tie machine?
That probably is good for not getting carpal tunnel.
Yeah, so you just you bag up the bread, you twist it up, and then you put it the top in this machine, and it got clunk clunk, twisty tie.
The heck?
Yeah, bakery
Shelley, you're going to be able to
secrets.
give us all the behind-the-scenes mysteries of a bakery.
Well, not all of the mysteries, because as part of my hiring paperwork, I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. It's so that I don't go steal the recipes and go start a competing
Charlie
bakery.
in the Chocolate Factory style.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
gosh.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
I do actually, you can tell Theo, I do, as part of my shift, prep some of the baking for the next day.
Cool.
So for the cookies and the scones, I measure out all the butter and sugar.
Oh, wow. So
Butter,
you're the
sugar.
cookie and scone sous chef.
I am. And so now I know what 8 pounds of brown sugar looks like.
So, Shelley, to finish off this introduction before we get to our topic, will you please relay the story you told me about your son and husband picking you up from work?
So I was back in the back office. I told my husband and son to come get me from work, but my shift doesn't have a hard stop. It's just kind of when I'm done with stuff. So they came a little earlier before I was done. I was in the back office, counting out change. They were waving, and the girl who was training me was like, "Do you know those people?" And I looked around. And she's like, "I thought they were waving at me, but maybe it's you." They know. It was Rick and Jet, and they came and they bought lots of treats. And then also, the baker had messed up a cinnamon roll, it had gotten messed up, so I got to take home a free loaf of bread and a cinnamon roll. So we have so many treats right now at my house.
This isn't the part of the story that I liked.
Well,
I thought
then I
all
don't
the
know
rest
what
that you
it
told
is.
was really boring, but you left out the good part.
I don't know what it is.
I'll tell it.
Okay.
So Shelley lives right next to Weber State University, right next to it. And therefore, all if not all, most of Shelley's coworkers are Weber State students and therefore are quite young people. When Shelley's coworker saw Rick and Jet enter and said, do they know you? Do you know them? Shelley said, yeah, that's my husband and my son. And they were all surprised that Shelley was not only not around their age, but also that she had a son that is like 8 feet tall.
Yeah, it's true. My first shift, my boss was asking me if I had kids, and I was like, yeah. And my son's almost 12, and a girl like whipped around, and she was like, you don't. But it's hard.
Sweet.
I have not seen the face of most of my coworkers yet.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to get an age guess.
Well,
for
Shelley,
everyone.
I have a surprise for you. The bottom half of your face does not reveal your age.
I also learned this weekend that I am the shortest of everyone who works at the bakery.
Oh gosh.
So that's fun, because guess what? Things in a bakery, so that there's lots of empty space for like rolling out dough or whatever, a lot of things are stacked very vertically. Very vertically.
Well, Shelley, you did it. We're so proud of you. It's been the talk of my house all week.
Well, it was so nice of you guys to come visit me. I hope you have been enjoying your treats.
Yes, although I will say the cinnamon roll it was too big for both of my children, and I let them each get one. But the pumpkin bar that I got was not too big for me. But yes, Shelley, we love you. We're so proud of you. And now we got to move on, because it's so important. We got a topic from our mom, my mom and your mom.
Oh,
Our
that's
mom.
right.
And my mom?
Yeah, you too.
What about
And-
Kelly?
Kelly, who's your mom?
I don't know. Depends on the day.
Whoa, mom's crying right now.
My baby doesn't even know who I am. What could I have done to be a better mother?
Just kidding, mommy. Shelley, we got our topic from our mom, and it is perfect for this time of year. Would you like to know what it is?
I would.
Today's topic is thank you notes. Shelley, would you please tell the Shelley Gang what a thank you note is?
Sure. It is a note. I guess these days, either physical or digital.
Physical or emotional? Sorry.
That you write to thank someone for something.
Shelley, that was so good.
I don't know.
I was just wondering if you were going to include like skywriting or something. Like I was just wondering how broad your thank you note definition would go.
No, I've never seen a skywriting thank you note. So I don't know if they're out
That's
there.
a shame. Oh, that's real.
Have you seen one, Kelly?
Yeah.
I've seen skywriting proposals, but not thank yous.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything in skywriting. You guys are so lucky.
Well, what about one of those like airplanes carrying a banner? Have you seen one of those?
Yeah, but it's just an ad. Nothing
Ah.
romantic or sincere. Boo.
Or sincere.
They sincerely want to sell you something.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Well, I am going to be doing the pro reasons why you should like thank you notes. Julie's going to be doing the anti reasons why you shouldn't. And Kelly, as our Shelley expert and the only person who has seen a thank you note in the sky, is going to tell us what she thinks you will choose. Shelley, are we ready?
Ready.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, Shelley, I have 5 reasons why you should like thank you notes. My first one is you gotta be a gusher. Shelley, my mom and your mom, our mom, taught us from the first age, which is the age of 1 year old, all of us. She taught us that we need to be gushers. Will you please tell the Shelley Gang what that means? Because I heard, at least I think it was Kelly, but probably everyone in the Shelley Gang collectively kind of gasp and be a weirdo about that word I just said.
Well, because gusher, I immediately thought of blood. So
Blood. I immediately think of delicious fruity snack.
But yes, in reference to mom and thank you notes, yes, gushing.
We have actually talked about that before with Mom on this podcast. I just listened to that episode like last week.
Oh, dang. Will you tell the Shelley Gang who didn't listen to it last week?
Yeah, I will. So gushing is the art of being very effusive with your thanks and praise when you are writing a thank you note.
Or talking.
Or talking. You want to make that person feel special. And you do that by really, really being the hype man for whatever you are thanking them for.
And I would say that you do, like Julie's banners in the sky, need to be sincere when you do it.
Yeah, it's not like fakey. It's like you're really saying
It's
what
your
you
real
feel,
opinion
but
to the
heightened.
max.
Yes.
We have been taught that it is really important to let people know how you feel about them, like how positively you feel about them or what they've done for you. Not only because it is like the right thing to do, but also because it makes you and the person both feel good. There's no lose. It's not a lose-lose situation. It's just win-win. And I think that is really important. And also a thank you note really helps you if you are someone who maybe gets things out better in writing or maybe not in person. Shelley, do you know anybody who kind of has a hard time forming their thoughts in a face-to-face way?
Yes, I've been very confronted by that now that I work with human people at a job.
I don't think we've mentioned that Shelley hasn't had a true job since college.
Yeah, so it's been about 12 years since I've had an occupation outside the
job.
home.
Right. Shelley, I feel like a thank you note, a written thank you note, would be a good way for you to sincerely gush in a way that you feel comfortable with. And you also mentioned digital thank you notes. And I had not considered that, but I guess a digital thank you note would just be like an email maybe, or like a direct message somehow on some social media.
I get a lot of e-cards from certain family members.
Wow.
So that also I think would count.
Yeah. So I think that is something good. Something that I learned in therapy a long time ago was that some people aren't as good at speaking off the cuff as other people. And so if you're in a situation that would need that, let's say maybe a marriage, then then sometimes it's good to interact through a written medium so that you can get your thoughts together. And especially if you're being very emotional about your thoughts, maybe that is something that might be uncomfortable to say in person, unless you're someone like me, in which case you just say whatever you feel all the time, and you say it really eloquently and beautifully, and then it might make people happy or mad. You don't know.
But you're always sincere.
I would say something about me is that I always am sincere. I believe what I say. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. Would you guys say that about me?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
But sometimes what I mean is I hate you, and let me tell you all the reasons why.
Let me count the ways.
Let me gush to you all the reasons why I hate you. No, Mom, we're not using that power for evil.
No, that's just my natural evil that comes out sometimes. Okay, Shelley, I have another reason why you should be pro thank you notes, and that is keep 'em and weep. There is a thing that happens where people keep notes and letters and postcards and whatever that are sent to them, and then they look at them from time to time. Has anyone gotten a postcard from me recently?
Oh, yes, just yesterday.
We got ours today.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
There should be one in your mailbox, Shelley. Thank you notes, specifically the physical ones was what I was thinking, but ostensibly also digital ones. You can keep them and look over them and reminisce. And even though on a podcast that I love called Judge Hodgman says that nostalgia is a toxic impulse, sometimes it's good to just wade in that beautiful toxic impulse. And it is wonderful to be able to look back at a thank you note and remember that that was how that person was feeling at the time and how that made you feel at the time. And maybe your relationship is different now than it used to be. Or maybe that person has passed on and you can no longer speak to them. So I like that you can look back at a thank you note and weep and cry. I sent Mom a postcard this week also, and she did tell me that she did cry, and I felt bad, and then she said she liked it. So she liked the crying part of it. So yeah, so that's that. Keep them and weep. Shelley, you should also like thank you notes because there are super cute designs to choose and to receive. This came from my sweet Lucy girl who's almost 10, and she's my artsy girl. She loves the visual aspect of life. And since I've had her and since I've gotten to like connect with her about that, I have thought more about the way things look than I used to. I used to be extremely utilitarian, but now I have blank cat cards that I can write whatever I want inside. And I'm very allergic to cats, but they're so cute, these cards. Can I say something that I've already said on this podcast before in another episode, that it's so important I'm going to say it again?
Yes,
sure.
I used to be extremely, extremely anti-greeting card. Do you guys remember this about me?
Yes.
I don't remember this, but I'm not surprised about it.
I'm a little surprised.
I am against greeting cards, specifically that say things inside that then people can just sign their names.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel accomplished, but to me, I feel empty inside when I receive such.
Oh. Okay.
But I love a card that is cute, but then also has handwritten, or it doesn't have to be handwritten. I guess you could type it up and paste it in or whatever, but like something written from the person sending it that is more than just their name. That is very important to me. And so I love a blank card because you can write whatever in there and you can't depend on someone else's words to say what you want to say. And so my whole cadre of cards is all blank cards. And sometimes those are thank you notes. And you know what? If it's a cute kitty, you could say thank you or happy birthday. And that's great. And I'm smart and great. And everything I think is right.
But wouldn't it still be a thank you note if it just said thank you printed on the front and in the inside it had printed, "You're the best friend I ever had," and then you sign your name? Isn't that still a thank you note?
I'm not contesting that that's a thank you note. Like that, like by technical definition, you are absolutely correct. I'm saying if I received one of those, I would not feel thanked.
Okay.
That is an empty gesture.
Why am I this way? Anyways, so I love that you can choose any kind of design. There are so many different kind of cards. Or back, like Shelley was saying, I haven't had a job since my son was quite young, and I haven't had a job outside the home, that is. And the last job I had was working for some crafting magazines, wherein one of the magazines was called just Cards. And every month we would feature different kinds of cards, like handmade cards, that people would submit, and then we'd choose them. And then it was awesome. And thank you notes was always one of the like genres that we would feature, because you can thank people all year round, which is great, you know? I'm sure the Shelley Gang has already figured out that we are doing this topic because this is coming out on the week of Thanksgiving. But that is just a fun little funsy, and not like you can only thank someone at Thanksgiving. That's not the Shelley Gang credo, okay?
But wouldn't it be nice if, not this year, but on a normal Thanksgiving year, if like your little place cards with people's names on it at the big Thanksgiving table was just thank you cards? That'd be pretty cool. Ever give everyone a personalized thank you card?
Shelley, you have warmed my heart and the heart of America by saying those things. And Canada. I know we have some listeners in Canada. But Shelley, that is great. And you know what? That would be something that they could take home. They put it in their little pockets, take it home, and put it in their hope chest, and then look at it 20 years later and be like, remember when Holly hosted Thanksgiving and made us these beautiful cards and wrote these beautiful words, and now she's dead. So,
Oh no.
she ate way too much turkey that Thanksgiving and passed right
Oh,
away.
wow. She's been dead these 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
So maybe this card's haunted. I don't know.
And every card is just, thank you for being alive with me. I love to be alive.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be alive together. So yeah, I like when they're cute, okay? Handmade or bought or pear cutter square shaped. Okay, my penultimate point as to why you should be pro thank you notes is from my son. So my daughter gave me one, my son gave me one. My daughter's is so beautiful and from the heart. And my son's is thank you notes entice better gifts.
Oh, dear.
That's also from his heart, but I mean, he's a tween, so we don't know what's going on in those hearts or heads of those tweens. I think he has a good point as to if you send a thank you note after receiving a gift, that person is more likely to send you a gift next time in that you have acknowledged their generosity.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people whose generosity is unconditional, but that's not everybody, and that's okay. My love language, my least is gifts. If you give me a gift, that's nice, but I'm not like moved to the point of crying, I guess. I don't know.
You're not going to pull that gift out 20 years from now out of your hope chest and cry.
No, not at all. But if you do an act of service for me, like flushing the toilet after I ask you to do it, it makes a lot of difference to me.
Amen.
And you'll never guess who in my house gives me that gift sometimes. Anyways, so so you can get, Jack said, increasingly better gifts, and I am surprised at that because I don't know, like, we're like on and off with sending like actual physical thank you cards. Like, we always are quite grateful verbally or whatever. Like, if we get a gift, it's very important to me to like text and be like, your package came and oh my gosh, it's amazing, thank you so much. But it's not always a physical card. I've never seen Jack experience an incremental gift exchange of this way. Like, first he receives a red bean and then he sends a thank you card, and then the next year it's like he gets a paper clip, and then he sends a thank you card, and then like ultimately at the end it's like a yacht or something. He hasn't experienced that. But who knows? I mean, there's only one way to find out. And that is through trial and error. And this Thanksgiving, let us do trial and error. We love you, science. Science, you're the best.
Is this your thank you card to science?
Oh my gosh, science, I love being alive. Thank you for being alive with me, science.
This sounds like the Jimmy Fallon thank you cards.
Yeah.
Like the
I was hoping
sarcastic.
you would bring that up.
I love Jimmy Fallon. And those thank you cards are funny.
Okay. So I have one more point, which oddly we've already kind of touched on, which was not my intent. And so let's see what we think about it, everybody. Shelley, you should be pro thank you notes because then you can find out what the people of the past were grateful for. Shelley, we've already talked about Lo these 20 years ago. But I was thinking about, like, what about if a cave painting were a thank you note? Like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for helping me kill that oxen. And let me come and do a mural for you, let you know what I think, and thank you so much. So we don't know, especially like with cave paintings or like artistic depictions, we don't know that isn't a thank you note. But like we can find out what Columbus was thankful for in 1492. You know, we can find out. Any writing can be a thank you note if it talks about the things that the people like. You know?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So you're saying, like, if somebody does like a work of art, like a cave painting, we know that thing is important to them, or else they wouldn't have drawn it, but we don't know if they were actually thankful for it.
I see no harm in assuming.
I am stuck on the idea of like modern times where somebody is like, you know what? I need to express my thanks to this person. I'm going to go to their house and paint on their wall my expression of thanks.
But that would be kind of legit, right?
If they're a good artist.
Everybody's an artist. That's what they say in the movie Ratatouille.
I'm just thinking if my child chose to thank me in that way, I don't know how pleased I would be.
I don't know if you know, Julie, but you're doing the anti-thank you notes point, and I feel that you may be looking through that lens as opposed to the pro lens, like I'm looking through.
You're right. I need to hold my horses here. Let it all out in a minute.
But I love. Can you consider like a love note that you find in a wall of a dilapidated house a thank you note? Thank you for being in love with me. Because if so, then I'm super obsessed with finding thank you notes all around this great world from all the ages and eons of time. And that's what I want. And I'm putting that out there into the universe. This is the secret at work. I would like to find some thank you notes of yore and find out what the people in the past were thankful for. So it's really too bad that I live in a neighborhood that is like all brand new houses. Because
well, that means you need to do your duty. Yeah, you have to put the note in the wall. Thank you, house, for being my house. Thank you for being alive with me.
If I opened up the drywall and put a thank you note inside, my husband would be, number one, furious. And number two, super confused. But number three, also not confused at all. Holly, this is so like you.
So, Holly, all you have to do is pull out a baseboard, stuff it under the drywall, and then nail the baseboard back in.
I can't do that because then people will see all the toes of the people I've cast of Amontillado.
Ah!
I don't get that reference.
Read some Edgar Allan Poe. He wrote a series of thank you notes that have interesting stories inside.
Thank you for letting me bury you alive down in my wine cellar behind a brick wall that I lay slowly while you watch. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, Shelley, you should like thank you notes. The end.
Oh dear, I'm gonna have nightmares about you, Holly.
I mean, you could and you probably do, so it's okay.
I like how it was about Holly specifically and not like Edgar Allan Poe or whatever. It's like, it's just Holly.
Well, I don't know Edgar Allan Poe. I do know Holly.
So, Julie, will you tell Shelley the reasons, I mean, more reasons than you've already told her about why you are anti-thank you notes?
Yes. I just feel like I need to do some more clarification. I'm going to define what I say is a thank you note, which is not a love note, because I'm all for love notes. And when I think thank you note, I think like mostly about you give me a gift, I write you a thank you note. But I guess you can do like, thank you for being in my life. I love you.
Can I bing bong in at this late hour to say that when I moved into this house, which it's been officially 1 year.
What?
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I guess so.
Wild bananas, right? So when I moved into this house to kind of like break up with my old life, I guess kind of, I wrote like a bunch of thank you notes to the people who were in my old neighborhood who I really connected with.
That's
So those were thank you notes, but they didn't give me anything except love and affection. So
Well, because they would know that you wouldn't like it. I mean, the gift card or the cards.
good. Yeah, they knew me well enough not to send me cards where they just sign their name. So anyway, so that's what I was kind of going for, like just being a thankful for a thing rather than like thank you for this gift.
What?
I don't know, like I think you could send a thank you note without receiving a present.
That's true. Well, if you're going to do that, that's fine.
Well, I guess if you give somebody a thank you note, that's because they did something. They could either do something or say something rather than like just getting something. So present could be flushing the toilet, Holly. And present could be physical present.
I guess if it's like a friendship note, like, you're my friend and I love you. I like that.
But this is your part to do what you will with it. So whatever,
I'm going to tap dance on the ceiling, baby. Shelley, I feel like I'm going to say the opposite of what everything Holly just said. So bear with me.
Ooh, Shelley loves those weeks where we do that.
I know. That's why I'm doing it. So, okay. If I take a meal to a new mommy and then she writes me a thank you note saying, "Hey, thanks for the casserole. It was delicious. Signed your mom," is what I thought. Then, you know what? I'm going to read that and go, that's nice. But then what am I supposed to do with that? Because it's not like there was a whole lot of heartfelt emotions going on. So you know what I'm going to do with it? Toss it right in the recycle bin. Okay? And I'm not going to feel bad about it. Because I read it. I said, that's nice. And then, I mean, I guess I could stick it in my wall.
Yeah. You could just have like a mail slot, but just like that goes into your wall for all the cards and stuff.
Okay, that's a funny idea. I like that a lot. But and part of me feels a little bit bad because it's like, well, I mean, they wrote this for me, and like, it's kind of like a gift to me, but I don't want it, so I'm just gonna throw it in the recycle bin. And I don't want to feel awkward and weird, but also I don't want to keep it. So I'd rather just not get a thank you note.
So would you rather not be thanked at all, or would you rather like a phone call or like a in-person like thanks?
Oh gosh. You know what is good enough for me? As I'm handing the casserole dish off to your mom, if she says, "Thank you, I really appreciate this," I will say, "You're welcome," and I will feel as thanked as I want to feel. That is good enough for me. You know what? When I was living in Ithaca, I was part of this like mommy support group, and I had a baby, and they made a little meal sign up for me, which was so awesome. And I was like CC'd on the email that they sent out, and part of the instructions was to me, the mom, and it's like, no thank you notes allowed. And I was like, I like this. Because the idea was like, we know you appreciate this. We know you feel grateful, and we don't want you to go through the work of writing a thank you note and putting it in the mail and blah, blah, blah. So just know that everybody feels thanked and you feel grateful, and that's good. Stamp of approval.
That is nice. That's better than like an alternative of like, hey, we know you're busy. You just had a baby. So we will just give you a blank thank you card with each meal that then you just, it's already postmarked. You just send it back.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. So you know what? Like an in-person thank you is great. Like if I'm going to a birthday party and I give them a birthday present and they say, "Wow, I love this thing that you gave me. Thank you so much." I'll say, "You know what? You're welcome." And then I'll leave and not think twice about it.
I don't know. If someone did that to me, I would be like, oh no, they do not feel thanked. Like they fully just turn on their heel.
Or
just left.
Or they're going to be like, was I just touched by an angel?
See, mom would probably send like 12 thank yous for the one thing. So I'm sure she's like cringing right now where, just saying thank you is not nearly enough for her.
Wow, Julie, did you think about that? About your position in this topic being upsetting to our mom, my mom, and your mom?
Oh, me. I don't want to write thank you notes.
I'm sure she's heard that before, for sure.
Okay. Writing thank you notes is like, it feels like an obligatory thing, and, I just feel like I have to do it, and I just don't want to.
Did you write thank you notes for your wedding?
Yes, I did. And you know why? Because
Mom made you.
Mom printed out the thank you notes, and I was like, I don't want to be rude because, like, some people gave us gifts who I don't really know that well. And so, like, I feel like, okay, I probably should, just because I maybe didn't even see them at the wedding and couldn't say thank you in person, that kind of thing.
Right.
But also, it was kind of stressful to do, write all those thank you notes. So, meh.
Julie, would you say that your main opposition to the idea of thank you notes is, would you say, insincerity?
No, but sort of.
Okay.
So, yes.
Because you said obligatory, which to me lacks an innate sense of sincerity.
So, like, I feel like writing thank you notes is just the thing you do. And if it's just a thing you have to do, then there's no telling if it's going to be sincere or not. But that's more for stuff like thank you notes, writing thank you notes for gifts you've gotten. But if I received a, like, thank you for being my friend note out of the blue, that's kind of, I feel like, a different thing. So complicated. The world of thank you notes. Who knew? So complex.
So you don't like that it's just like a social nicety. To you that is yucky.
That is dumb. I am all for breaking social norms. Breaking out of that shell.
Thank you cards are just a social construct.
Yeah. And I don't want to do it. When I had a baby long ago, okay, not too long ago, but I had a baby and people gave me things and it was very kind of them. And then I was like, okay, well, now I have to write the thank you notes. But I had just had a baby. I had lots to do and I didn't want to spend my time writing thank you notes, but I felt like I had to because society, you know what I'm saying? So thank you notes, they just add an element of stress to my already stressful life.
Yeah, I don't think we've said this episode. You have 4 kids.
I really do. It seems like thank you notes really surrounded each of their births. And come on. Why? Probably because people are kind to you when you have a baby, and that's nice. So
maybe.
Hey, speaking of kids, when it's Christmas time and you get gifts and then you are a mom and you're like, oh my gosh, society tells me that I have to make my children write thank you notes. It's overwhelming for these little hands to write 10 thank you notes. And it's overwhelming to know what to say to your great Aunt Martha, who you don't know. It's just tough, guys, for little kids. Also for big kids and grown-ups and parents. But do I have to make my kids do it? Really? Because we're all just going to scream at each other at the end. I don't want to do that.
It does not promote harmony in your home to have a spirit of thankfulness.
Shelley, have you ever forced your child to write a thank you note?
Forcing my child to write anything always ends in screaming. So,
okay, so you hear me on this one. You get it.
Would you be okay if, like, a modern way of sending a thank you note would be like taking a cute video of your child, like saying like, thank you for this toy, it was really fun, and then sending it off?
I am all for that, and I feel like that doesn't count under the umbrella of thank you notes. Like, I like expressions of thanks.
That would be wild. A wild thing to be like, I'm anti-thankfulness.
On this week of Thanksgiving. Boo.
I will say my son has said things like that before, so
Why?
But he's a tween.
Oh, man.
But this leads right into my last point, Shelley, which is there are other ways to say thank you. So, yeah, I'm all in for a little like Marco Polo video message of thank you so much for this thing. I love it. You know, that's a good place to gush. Even if you feel like you need to organize your thoughts, you don't need to write them down. You just think about them, plan them out, and then make a little video. And if it doesn't work, you record it again. That's fine. Or a text or any other what else is there modern days?
A TikTok dance?
Yeah.
A thankful TikTok dance?
Oh, I would love to see a thankful TikTok dance.
What about a plane? I don't know, carrying a banner.
Is that a thank you note? That's for you to decide, listener, I guess. But Shelley, I like it. I like telling people thank you, and I like hearing people say thank you to me. But does it always have to be a thank you note? No. Does it have to be a thank you note ever? That's for you to decide, listener. The point is, I don't like thank you notes, and you shouldn't either. The end.
Oh, I wanted you to end with thank you. Dang it.
I was going to, and then I flew in the face of expectation.
Oh my gosh, you're so clever. Thank you so much for being alive with me. And now it is Kellie's turn. As the Shelley expert who's known Shelley for so long, lo, these 20 years. Kellie, what do you think Shelley will choose about thank you notes?
I think Shelley will go con, mostly because it is a lot of pressure to send out all these thank you notes. Like, you think of all the times that are festive, you know, whether you're having just like a party for fun, like a movie night party, or if you're doing like birthday party or holidays or blah, blah, blah. Like, there's always something to thank people for. That's a lot. Like, if you're sending out thank you cards or what did we say? The airplane messages and stuff like that, that's a little overwhelming. And especially depending on who comes over, if you're meeting somebody new, like they may be expecting a thank you card or whatever, because like you don't want to be rude, and you know, saying thank you may not be enough. If you're the
kind of person who is expecting a thank you card, no thank you.
I was going to say, I do not approve the expectation of thank you cards. Like, that person is not a person who's on team pro thank you cards.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot of work, and it was ingrained in us to gush, and if we didn't gush enough in person, like, we sent letters anyway, even if we did gush in person. So it's a lot of stress. I mean, yes, from when we were growing up, but even just in general, like, you send a card maybe in the mail or something, and most people just throw them away. So then that's a waste of like your time and their time. So you might as well just like send a text or call someone, or, you know, just say thank you. And that's enough for, you know, just depending on, I guess, how big. Should it depend on how big whatever they're receiving is?
Now you're second guessing yourself.
I think Shelley will think it's too stressful. So I'm going to say she's going to go con. Because not everybody's love language is like the material whatever. So like a verbal thank you will be enough.
Well, now is the time we've all been waiting for. The opinion of the MVP of this podcast, the most volatile, organic, compound podcaster, Shelley. That means you're a chemical found in drinking water that can cause cancer. Do you feel good about that or bad?
I don't feel great about that, actually.
Oh, man.
Weird.
Sorry. Well, Shelley, what do you think about thank you notes?
Well, thank you for asking.
Ooh, I think I know which way you're leaning.
Gushing is definitely a part of our growing up. I definitely remember, after Christmas or whatever, Mom we'd all sit down around the table and like pass around a card, and we have to write, 1 or 2 sentences or something gushing about a gift, in a card to like grandma and then to Aunt so-and-so and then blah, blah, blah. And I do remember often those times being a stressor from one or multiple of us girls. But gushing is definitely part of our heritage. And Holly is right that sometimes people are not good off the cuff. If someone brought me a casserole, they would just get a thank you. They probably wouldn't get a gush because I'd be like, what do I say? Like, I haven't eaten this casserole yet, but boy, oh boy, I know I'm going to love it. And you're the best cook ever, probably. So being able to have the time to write could be definitely helpful. Keep them and weep. I'm a little surprised Holly made that point, but
I've become more nostalgic for those kinds of things in my older age. You could ask Mom, who dug things out of the trash when I was cleaning out my room before going to college, because I was throwing literally everything away. So
in your older age.
I am older than I used to be, and that's true.
That is true.
But yeah, so keep them and weep. I guess that's true. I feel like that point is more salient if it's like, it is like a thank you for being my friend kind of card instead of like a thank you for the gift you gave me this Christmas, because maybe you won't remember that. I mean, you'll remember the feeling, but you're not going to remember the exact experience maybe. It entices better gifts. If you are an 11-year-old, then that I could see that definitely being a positive point. But I think you both mentioned though that the people who like expect a thank you card, like, and then get upset if they don't get one, like, or only give a gift to be thanked, that's not cool. And then find out what people were thankful for in the past, a historical record of thankfulness. That sounds pretty interesting. Because, like, we do know, like, what they needed. And obviously they were probably thankful for those things, but it would be interesting to find out, like, what they were thankful for on top of, like, just being alive. So that would be kind of interesting. Making kids write them is hard and challenging. Like I said, my son is not the biggest fan of writing anything at all. So it is a challenge to have him write a thank you note, especially if it's one where it's we, the parents, making him do it because it was a nice thing someone did for him and he needs to recognize that, but he doesn't necessarily care.
Yep.
Because making a child do something they don't want to do can be a stressor for everyone. There are other ways of saying thank you, and I could see how someone with 4 kids would think like, like a video or something is easier because who's gonna look down their nose at like, oh, all I got was this video of Lukey making silly faces and saying thank you and being adorable. Who wants that?
Can I bing bong into this conversation to say that my son sent a video to Julie's kids this week that was not a thank you video, but that apparently really perplexed them. Julie, will you just briefly explain what this video was?
Okay, it was Jacko looking at the camera, kind of going, oh, like wobbling his head back and forth and kind of sticking his tongue out like a little lizardish, back and forth pretty quickly, and Holly is slowly walking toward him with the camera, slowly walking toward him, so he's getting closer and closer. And then at the end, he sticks out his tongue really far, and you can see it's blue. And then the video ends. And we were watching it like on like the thumbnail version on my phone, so it was really small. And so all we really saw was Jackal kind of doing a little head bobble tongue lizard tongue thing, and we're like, okay. They're like, ha ha ha, that was funny. What was that all about? And I'm like, oh, I think his tongue is
like an editorial with it.
Yeah. We really loved it though. And then when I told the kids his tongue was blue, they were like, we get it now.
It all makes sense.
So, I mean, that's a thank you video in the sense that, like, thank you for being a friend and liking this silly thing.
Thank you for being alive with me.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again. Like that?
It's also from a commercial. Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, but the commercial is taking from the Golden Girls theme song.
It is Golden Girls. Because I was like, it sounds like a theme song, but I've never watched an episode of Golden Girls. It just always starts, and then I change it.
Are you crazy? Kelly, it's a delicious, delightful show.
Sure it is.
Well.
I'm gonna get backlash for that. So many people are gonna be like, "What? Golden Girls is great." I've never watched an episode.
Neither have I, but I've heard it's good.
This has gone in a really awesome direction.
Holly, are you there?
I'm here, but I'm not happy about it.
All right.
Well, then let's switch back to what I was saying earlier. Thank you notes. I will say this is hard for me to say because it makes me sound like a monster. But I'm kind of anti thank you notes.
Yay!
Here's the thing. It is stressful. Julie and Kelly were right. For me, it is such a weight on my shoulders. And it's one of those kind of things that just because of the way my brain works, I will get around to it eventually, but I will put it off as long as humanly possible, and I will let it stress me out until then. For our wedding, I don't think we sent out thank you notes until like almost a year after we got married. And that was only because of our mom's constant reminders to please send out the thank you notes.
Can I say that I also didn't send out thank you notes for a year from my wedding, but I did a super cool thing, which was I made a cool newsletter of things that Caleb and I had been doing in the first year of our marriage. And then at the bottom, I left some space and wrote a handwritten paragraph thanking them for the gift.
That sounds so stressful.
Well, you know what? It impressed, and I put in pictures, cute pictures of us, and it impressed the millions and got Mom off my back, so I did it.
Mom, we love you.
Yes. Like, Mom, I wish I could be more like you, because it is something that I wish I was better at, is sending thank you notes, because I know that most people do appreciate them in some way or another, even if they just look at it and go, oh, that was nice of them, and chuck it in the trash. But it is so hard for me to do. And I disagree a little bit with Holly's idea that like a card that has like a pre-written whatever, and then somebody just signs their name, like that is a bad thing, because if that's always what someone does, like maybe that's not ideal. But sometimes there are those of us who find it hard to express things in words, especially things that are sincere. And so if a card says it and you go, yeah, that's how I feel, and someone said it better than I ever could, then it's essentially like saying like, this is Shelley, Allison, and I endorse this message.
See, and I know that my feeling is an unpopular opinion, but there is a true feeling in my heart that I don't think anyone could express the way I feel better than I can. So I can see that is a flaw of mine. I'll just say that.
So I know it's a good thing to do, but It's just not for me. If I say thank you, I mean it, and then that's all I want to do.
But you wouldn't be angry if you received a thank you note. Is that correct?
I'm not gonna like burn something in effigy because I get a thank you note from somebody.
Okay. That's a big leap from being just mildly displeased, but okay.
Well, nope, not for me.
She's a gusher in all sorts of things.
Yeah, you know me. I am fully passionate any way my feelings go. I'm all in. So yeah, I definitely don't mind thank you cards, and I would not get a thank you card and be upset. I'm just saying for me, it is something I struggle with and do not like to do. So that's all.
Well, I'm glad to know that I'm the only person on this podcast on the right side of history. And happy Thanksgiving to all those who are thankful. And to those who aren't, drown yourself in gravy. Goodbye. Well, Shelley, thank you from my sincere heart for sharing your opinion about thank you notes with us. And thank you to our mom, my mom and your mom, Joelle, for this topic suggestion. And now we are moving on to our segment, $1 Million Ideas Thanksgiving Edition. $1 Million Ideas. And in this segment, someone brings $1 million idea to the table, and today it's Julie.
Yes, indeed it is.
Ooh.
Julie, no, you got to wipe off the rest of that Halloween from Thanksgiving.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I still have Halloween window stickers in my windows in the living room.
And those fake bats.
I can't quit you, Halloween. No, it's not about Halloween. It's about Thanksgiving. Well, kind of. And I guess Halloween could be part of it. Because, guys, here's the $1 million idea. Ready? Fall-a-day.
What?
Fall-a-day. So it's not a thing. It's not something you can purchase. It's more of an idea. More of just a concept. The idea of fall-a-day. All of fall being a whole holiday. Because you know what fall doesn't have enough of? Holidays. So I want the time between Halloween and Thanksgiving just to be one long holiday season. Like, how many days are between it? Well, variable.
Kind of like a Lent situation, or like a not a Ramadan. I guess yes, Ramadan.
Yeah, except that for Fall-a-day, you would be working your way up to Thanksgiving Day, and by that I mean you're having a little bit of feasting every day. So, the November 1st. You're going to have your regular dinner, but on the side, maybe a little bit of sweet potato pie. And then on the next day, you're going to have your what do people have for dinner? Fajitas. But there's that a little bit of maybe just a little extra gravy dish on the side.
Fajita gravy. Mm.
Oh, don't tempt me, guys. You know how I love gravy.
Oh my gosh. Puke.
Just get the right kind of gravy, Kelly, okay? It doesn't have to be like chicken gravy. It could be like a nice white gravy.
I've never been a gravy girl, so.
Oh, well, you're missing out. I'm sorry for the way you are. No, Kelly, I love you in just the way you are. You made today special, just the way you are.
Oh my gosh.
But you know what I mean. And eventually, over the days and weeks, you're gonna build your way up to a full Thanksgiving feast. And to go along with it, you can have the whole month be thankful, And you can, I know people do this already, but it can be like a whole nationwide thing where everybody is saying what they're thankful for every day. And I like that. But here's where the $1 million comes in.
Yeah, how do we monetize that?
Guys, think of all the sales we could make on a whole new holiday that everybody's going to celebrate. Think of all the holiday merch that we could put out.
Because we're already so good at merch. We're so good at it.
But you know what kind of decorations would go along with holiday? I want, like, you know how you can get a string of lights that, you know, maybe for Halloween it looks like pumpkins or something.
Uh-huh.
You could have different strings of lights like turkey legs.
Uh-huh. Not even turkeys, just turkey legs.
Turkey legs. Turkey legs are already kind of light bulb shaped, so I feel like it wouldn't be hard to do.
So could there be like a holiday like advent calendar, you know, where you open it and you get a little...
I know what would be a good way to do a holiday advent calendar is to do like a stairway, like some stairs, and then start at the top and it's 1 and then fall all the way down to the bottom the last day.
It's not
kerplunk. Oh, but it could be. You know what? And like, so I'm thinking a little model of stairs, and you open up each stair on the day of that your little toy person is falling down slowly.
Kind of like the opposite of that yodeler game on The Price is Right.
Yes. So you open up each stair as the day hits, and inside is what's a little thing you could put in there? A little
a deviled egg.
Yes.
And by the last day of holiday, it's so stinky.
Oh, yes, please. Give me that deviled egg, so stinky. Oh, but guys, just, you know what? And maybe there should be like a clothing element to it, because, you know, like Halloween costumes, Christmas is like snuggly jammies and ugly sweaters, but what's holiday gonna be?
I think for you, Julie, if we left you to your druthers, it would be kind of like you did with the food, but with clothing, because you're such a cold girl that you would want every day to add a little bit more layers.
Or a little bit more like elastic to a waistband. So that way by Thanksgiving you got some real nice stretchy pants.
Oh, yeah. You're going to need it too. All that gravy. All those deviled eggs. Oh.
Could we do like something akin to Elf on the Shelf? Like a thankfulness turkey that watches you? Be thankful.
Holiday needs its own mascot, though.
I would like to say that holiday should have, like, you know, like Canada has a maple leaf.
Mm-hmm.
So just like a leaf, but then it's anthropomorphized somehow, and then you do some sort of thing where it's kind of like, you know, those trash bags that you can fill with leaves that look like jack-o'-lanterns.
Uh-huh.
So like that, except every day you put in something that you're grateful for. Everybody does, and then the leaf gets bigger and bigger and stretches out, and then by the end, he becomes a big scary monster.
I love it. Yeah, let's do that. And then, like, at the Thanksgiving table, your giant monster leaf has a place at the table.
I like how it has to be a giant monster leaf.
No, it must be.
So are you putting the actual thing you're thankful for in the big leaf monster, or just a little slip of paper that says what you're thankful for?
Well, here's the problem is that we can't dictate how everyone's going to celebrate this holiday, because it is like a non-religious holiday. Like, so everybody can just interpret it in their own way. So all of the chainsaws that I'm thankful for, I just have to keep putting inside.
This is going to be a very U.S. specific holiday too, because not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving.
Well, but Canada does. They just have to do holiday over, like, after Labor Day until October.
Oh, guys, I'm so excited for the next holiday.
We're in the midst of holiday right now.
We're in it.
but we're not making any cash yet. So we have to spend this whole year getting ready for Holiday so that by the time November 1st hits, everybody has their empty shell of a leaf monster ready to fill up. Everybody has their advent calendars, advent stairs ready. That's a lot of deviled eggs to make, you guys. It's going to take us months of just making deviled eggs, sticking them inside little stairs.
Well, Julie, thank you so much for bringing this $1 million idea to us. And that's been our segment, $1 Million Ideas.
$1 Million Ideas.
Shelley Gang, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All of your handwritten thank you notes are in the mail.
From me only. And you know what? It'll be worth it. And I'm not signing anybody else's name, Shelley Gang. I'm not going to be nice and be like, from Holly and Shelley and Julie and Kelly. No. Just me. Thanks. Thank you. No, Shelley Gang, thanks so much for joining us. And thanks again to our mom for submitting this topic. If you in the Shelley Gang wants to submit a topic to hear Shelley talk about, then you should go to our website, shelleyhasopinions.com. That's SHELLEY, hasopinions.com. There you can find our contact page, and you can also find all of our old episodes. You can also find us on podicongo.com, the podcast network for family-friendly champions. And that's us. We so friendly and family. We are family-friendly. And that's okay, but what we're not is we're not winners yet, but we can be. I finally convinced our mom that she doesn't have to nominate us for the 2020 Family-Friendly Podcast Awards, which you can find at podicongo.com/awards. I convinced our mom she doesn't have to keep nominating us over and over again, and for that I am thankful. But nominations go until November 30th. If you would like to nominate us, that's great. If you want to nominate someone on the network, that's great. If you want to nominate someone off of the network, that's also great. Please go and do that. We would love for you to. But mostly, Shelley Gang, we just want you to come back next week. And by then, Holiday will be... No, I guess by next week, Holiday. When's November 30th?
I haven't decided if it ends on November 30th or on Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
Yeah, because for a lot of people, Christmas season starts like the day, like the evening of Thanksgiving.
Okay. So I hope you guys had a happy Fall Day, and for those in the U.S., I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. And next time we see you, it will be the winter time, and by then I'll be crying every day because snow is so sad. Why snow?
So you all have that to look forward to.
I'm always sad when Fall Day ends because then it ushers in my saddest moments. But I'm also sad to see Fall Day go because I love it so much. And that scary monster, he keeps me warm all winter. But he's kind of pokey.
I thought
on the
all
inside.
of your snuggle family would keep you warm all winter.
Oh, yeah, they do. And with that, thank you, and I love you, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays. I love you guys.
Gosh dang it, Shelley, where are you?